Greater than or less than, okay, or equal to. So essentially, same concept. Inequalities that contain more than one operation. So these are more than one operation if you had to add and then we had to divide. We had to multiply, add, divide. So we had multiple steps. What you did yesterday was just either multiply or divide or add or subtract. All right, for that one. So, all right, on to the guided notes. Now it says graph the solutions. Grant, give me a number, any number.
27.
27. All right, is 27 a solution to this equation? Let's take a look. What would I plug in?
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. 2 times 27. Get your calculators. What's that equal? You can use your calculator. 54. 54 plus 45 is what? 99, right? Is 99 bigger than 61? 27 has to be one of our answers. Okay, right? 27 has to be our answer, or one of them. But when it's greater than, there's more than one answer. But we use the same steps we did here. With the only exceptions you got to watch is anytime you multiply or divide by a negative, what do you have to do to the inequality sign? You got to flip it. That rule still applies. All right, so think about here where that greater than is signed. You can draw the line down there, or if you're comfortable with moving things without that line, that's fine. But Morgan, what do you think I should do first?
Subtract 45.
Good. You subtract 45 from the 45, and I subtract 45 from the 65. All right, and so now, Amanda, what should I write down?
2b is greater than 16.
Good. 2b is greater than 16. All right, from here, Joe, what should I do from here? Divided by 2. Good. And that gives me b is greater than 8. I still have on the quiz, you'll get those back tomorrow. Still some people graphing in the wrong direction. Right, greater than 8. And we don't need to mark every spot, but greater than 8, an open dot, because it doesn't include it, and to the right. And, all right, here's a rule, and I need to really make sure I emphasize this. And I thought I did before. You have to write the variable first. You cannot, like, say 8 is less than b or anything like that. You have to have b is greater than 8, okay, for that one. All right, now let's take a look at the second one.
Hey, Mr. Deb,
Yep.
you mentioned about having to flip the sign. How did they do on the quiz with that?
It's like 50, maybe not, a little bit better than 50-50, but too many didn't.
Yeah.
Too many didn't. So that's why I wanted to emphasize that. All right, take a look at that second one. Take a look at that second one. Evan, let me know what you think the first step should be.
-8.
Good. -8 from the 8. All right, Evan, go ahead and tell me what to write down.
Can I get my calculator?
Yeah, oh, heck yeah, have that thing out. Have that thing out.
21.
Okay, well, tell me what to write from left to right.
-3y.
Good.
Greater than or equal to 21.
Oh, and the reason I do that is because I want to make sure you said -3y. A lot of times people just say 3y, but it has to be negative. Jalen, what do I do from here?
Subtract by -3.
Not subtract, because those are being multiplied.
Divide.
Divide by -3. Divide by -3. That gives me y. All right, since I divided by negative, Preston, what do I have to do?
Flip the sign.
Flip the sign. So instead of greater than or equal to, it becomes less than or equal to. 21 divided by 3 is -7. That means anything less than or equal to -7 works. So give me one number, Zachary, that should work.
-8.
He says -8. So I'm going to test it. 8 minus 3 times -8 becomes -3 times -8 is positive 24. 8 plus 24 is 32. Is 32 bigger than 29? Yeah. 32 is bigger than 29. So that's it. So you got to make sure you flip it. So we had -7 here. -6, -5, -8, -9. So less than or equal to, go to the left. Less than or equal to, go to the left. All right, so that one is like you can't avoid dividing by negative. You have to divide by negative.
On these ones here, you guys have to like get it through your heads. These fractions are division problems. Okay? It's just division. This is like super easy, and we are still struggling with this.
Yeah, good way. I gotta make sure we keep emphasizing that. So we're dividing by -2. So Colin, what do we do to both sides?
Multiply by -3.
Multiply by -2.
So when you see that fraction there, your first instinct needs to be get rid of that fraction, which is pretty easy to do. You're just gonna multiply by the denominator.
That cancels that denominator, and you're left with x plus 5. Multiplied by -2, what happens to that inequality? Flips, goes the other direction. 3 times -2 is -6. Now that's only when you multiply or divide. Sam, what should I do next?
You can subtract 5.
Good, subtract 5, and what's that gonna give me for an answer, Sam?
X is less than -11.
Good, x is less than -11. All right, I'm gonna graph that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -11. Then if I go up, -10, -9, -12, -13, and then less than, open circle. Less than is to the left. Okay, less than is to the left. Anyway, I would say one of the biggest things is when if they had like 12 is greater than B, they didn't rewrite it and they graphed it the wrong way.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the biggest things. Okay. Where's that? All right, yeah, what's your, okay, remember, simplify each side of the inequality before you do anything. Simplify means to get rid of parentheses and combine like terms. All right, as I take a look at this one here, Grant, what should I do first?
Distribute.
Okay, so when you distribute, always start from the left-hand side, even if I don't do anything to the left-hand side, so put 8. I'm not doing anything on both sides, so it's not gonna mess with that inequality. It's still greater than or equal to, and then what should I write down here, Grant?
-8 plus x plus 4x.
Okay, big step here, make sure you add, because that's -4 times -x becomes a plus. Brett, what do we do now?
Add 8 for the sides.
Good, add 8, because this is the 8 we're moving. Okay, that's a -8, I add 8, I get 16 is greater than or equal to 4x. And now, okay, all right. Zane, what do I do here?
Divide by 4.
Divide by 4. Divide by 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4. Okay, we cannot leave that answer. Christian?
X is less than or equal to 4.
Yes, x is less than or equal to 4. You're not allowed to leave 4 first. The x has to come first and it has to be pointing there. All right, less than or equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 2, 1. Less than or equal to 4. Okay, shaded there to the left. So any number I plug in less than that should make that true. Okay, should make that true. Anything to the right should make it false. And actually, what happens when you plug in 4? That's where it makes both sides the same. That is where it will make it equal. Oh man, fractions. Love them. Rachel, you like fractions? No? You're kidding me. Christian, what are you thinking over there with that hand up?
Subtract a half.
Nope, I'm getting rid of fractions. I'm getting rid of them. I don't like them. What can I multiply by? Christian, I'll give you a second shot. Joe? 6. Multiplied by the, all right, here, and then, how'd you get that 6?
2 goes into 6 3 times. 3 goes into 60.
Good, whatever these denominators both go into, multiply everything by that 6. So 6, 6, 6. And that you're just taking 6 times 2/3. You can use your calculator. Mr. Slur showed you how to do that. You know how to use the fraction button. Because what's going to happen is going to be a whole number. All right, Caitlin, multiply by 6 and let me know what we get for those.
So this one's 4,
Okay, so we'll make it 4F. Okay.
and then the second one is 3,
Good.
and then the third one's 2.
2. All right, excellent. Now, from here, Preston, what do I need to do?
Subtract 3.
Subtract 3.
You forgot to record.
No, I am recording.
Jim, do you have notes up already? You got notes on.
So 4F is greater than -1. Okay, divide by 4, divide by 4. I didn't divide by negative, don't flip it. Zach?
You get F is greater than -0.25.
-0.25, or you could leave it as -1/4. Either way is fine. Now I'm going to graph this one. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use whole numbers. 0, 1, 2, -1, -2. Let's see here. And now where's -0.25 at? Let's make sure we're in the right spot here. Greater than -0.25, open circle. So it's right about there. Okay. Nope, I did it wrong. Where did I do it wrong at? Christian?
What?
How did I do it wrong? Zach?
You put it after the point, or -1, you put it after the 0.
Should be right in there. Sorry. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to throw you off. Connor?
So that's just like -0.25, -0.20, or -0.15, and then.
Yep, as long as your scale's the same, you can do that. Sometimes you'll see it like this. I just wanted to give you a second option. All right, let's take a look at here. Hold on, Christian. Make sure you fill in that spot on the right. It should be a 3 there. Should be a 3. Evan, help me out here. What do you think? Okay, tell me what the right here on the left.
3 plus 2x plus 8 greater than 3.
Good. All right, combine like terms first. Combine like terms first. Don't start moving anything else. So, Caitlin, what's that mean to combine like terms? Or what are my like terms?
8 and 3.
Yeah, now I got too many 3s running around, but this 8 and this 3.
Emphasize that we don't want to subtract 3 twice from the left side. So they want to subtract 3 and then from here, and then they want to subtract 3 from the 8. So they want to do the opposite.
Oh, yeah, we've seen that.
Yes.
Yeah, when you're on the same side equal sign, do not, and I think that's what you're saying here, right? Like that?
Yes.
If you stay on the same side, you've got to just do 3 plus 8. That's the one thing. You only do the opposite when you move all the way over. And so when I do 3 plus 8, I get 2x plus 11 is greater than 3. Subtract 11, and I get 2x is greater than, what is that, -8? Divide by 2, I get x is greater than -4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right,
Again,
-4.
there, we're not turning that sign around because, yeah, the 8 is negative, but we divide both sides by a negative number or multiply both sides by a negative number, then we're turning it around.
Yep, don't worry. Yeah, and we did, that happened a lot on the multiple choice one. That was one where people just saw the negative and flipped it. So keep that x is greater than -4. All right, we're gonna keep hitting these. Keep hitting these until we are good. Inequality for the statement, solve the inequality and graph the solution. 6 less than 2 times the number is at least 14. All right, right side, see if you can come up with it, but then don't do it because we gotta make sure that's right. Okay.
I didn't mind the.
Why'd you ask me that?
No, a number, x, any number, and a variable, a number, 2x minus 6. Okay, at least 14.
Hang on,
Alright, now, at least 14. This is the side of the curve base.
I made a
This
mistake.
side is above 14 and
Whoops.
Anytime it's less.
Alright.
Yep.
No, I didn't even get on the equation. What's the event?
I don't know.
Rachel, what you got? Now, anytime you see
Okay, consider.
6 less than, you gotta make something minus 6.
How do I know when?
Well, because that's the one phrase that drives us like a tag. That's like,
No, it
The one thing that was that forward.
Colin, what you got?
2x minus 6 is greater than or equal to 4.
I think I got it right.
All right, greater than or equal to is at least. Greater than or equal to is at least. So yes, and then 2x minus 6, this is where that less than we talked about, and it was good for the most part, just corrected a couple. That's where that order flips. And so you add 6, and I get 2x is greater than or equal to 20. Divide by 2, x is greater than or equal to 10. Okay, x is greater than or equal to 10. Now, if I don't have a graph, I'm just going to start right there at 10, 11, 12, 9, 8, greater than or equal to, solid to the right. Solid to the right. Okay? All right, flip it over. All right, you got Hertz, this is, you got Hertz, you got Enterprise, you got all kind of rental companies. They all have a little bit different policy on what they charge. So you can save money if you take a little bit of time and compare. You just go to one of them, you don't know. So this is an example to kind of model that. So to rent a certain vehicle, Rent-A-Ride charges $55 per day with unlimited miles. Okay. The cost of renting a similar vehicle at We Got Wheels is $38 per day plus 20 cents per mile. So they're not going to cost the same, okay, for everything. For what number of miles is the cost at Rent-A-Ride less than the cost of We Got Wheels? And let's just do it for one day. One day. So we want to know where Rent-A-Ride, I'll just say RAR, is less than We Got Wheels. Well, they actually, all right, so what is the charge for Rent-A-Ride? How could I list that? Christian?
55.
Just flat 55. So that is going to be 55. Okay, nothing else, so you put less than. All right, how can I represent the cost that We Got Wheels? Connor?
38 plus 0.20x.
38 plus 0.20, and I'm actually gonna make it an M just because for miles. X is fine. All right. Solve that. So we solve that. It's an example like we've done before. So to solve that, Amanda, what should I do first?
Subtract 38 from each column.
Subtract 38. And what is that, 17? 17 is less than 0.20 M. Divide by 0.20. And what does that give me, Preston?
85.
All right, now you have got to write a statement telling me, and I tell you what, over half of you will end up writing this down incorrect. Okay, what would be a statement to answer the question based upon this information? How many miles is the cost at Rent-A-Ride less than the cost at We Got Wheels? For how many miles is the cost at Rent-A-Ride less than the cost of We Got Wheels? Okay, tell me what to write, Connor. I'm not even gonna look at you. I'm just gonna write what you tell me.
Okay.
All right, let me do this.
I know, I just don't know how to say it.
It will cost less at Rent-A-Ride, RAR, for what? For what?
For 85 miles.
For 85 miles. Okay, that is one wrong example. So he's wrong. And this is a hard thing, is taking that answer in the context of the problem and writing it correctly. I mean, he's really, really close. I know what he means, but he's not telling me correctly. Joe? No, you got to use this first statement. It will cost less at Rent-A-Ride for, basically, you have got to finish that statement. You've got to finish that statement. Grant?
8.5 miles.
How many?
8.5.
8.5. No, not 8.5. Exactly.
Anything over 85 miles?
For anything over 85 miles. Now, I want to reword it just a little bit. I'm just going to say for more than 85 miles. Okay, you can keep it just like you said. That's fine. But you have to be able to interpret that example. So for more than 85 miles. So right here, that's why you flip the M and put it first. You got to be able to read it. You can't just say 85 miles, because actually at 85 miles, that's when they cost the same. Anything over 85 miles, then the other one will be less. Rent-A-Ride is less. What about for anything less than 85 miles? What would be the case?
It would cost more.
It would cost more, and We Got Wheels would be less. Okay, so if I'm driving more than 85 miles, I want to go to Rent-A-Ride. If I'm only driving like 10 miles, I'm going to the other place. Okay? So something that you need to think about. All right. The average of Jim's 2 test scores must be at least a 90 to make an A in the class. Jim got a 95 on his first test. What grades can Jim get on his second test to make an A in the class? So it could be more than a 90. It could be more than a 90. But all right, how do you do the averages? You add them together and divide by the number. So he's taking 2 tests. First one, he got a 90. We don't know what he's getting on the second test, and we take that and divide it by 2 to get the average. We want it to be at least what did he get on the first test? I'm sorry. That should not be a 90. That should be a 95. Sorry. All right, what do I do on the other side then? Because he wants to average at least a 90. Okay, Connor?
Greater than or equal to 90.
Greater than or equal to 90. All right, this comes up to that problem Mr. Schler talked about before. When you see this, you think divided by 2. So what do we do to get rid of that division? We multiply. So multiply both sides by 2. 2, 2. Cancels. I get 95 plus x. 2 times 90 is 180. Subtract 95. What's 180 minus 95? 85. 85. So x is greater than or equal to 85. So if he gets an 85, he'll average exactly a 90. If he gets anything over that, then he'll be above a 90. Anything under an 85? Okay, less than a 90. Okay, less than a 90. We good there? All right. All right, now pay attention here. Here's the assignment. There's not 2 assignments, there's 1. If you have at least a 90%, at least means 90% or higher for the class, you may do the following assignment, the bottom one. If you don't have a 90%, do the top one. They're the same number of problems. Okay, this one just gives you a little bit more, I don't want to say a challenge, but it gives you a little bit better understanding. The top one, okay, if you have less than a 90%, just do the top one. Bottom one, now some of them overlap. You will do some of the same ones. Okay? If you get a 90 or higher, do the bottom one. And actually get started on the.
Okay, so why did you buy with that's one for. No, like review.
Oh, you take the average of something. You take the average of the test. So you divide by the number of tests. So if I divide tests, 80 and 85 and 88, I would add all 3 up and divide by 3. So if I'm only taking 2 tests, so if I'm going to 76, and then I add 2, take the sum divided by 2, the average. Okay, so always take the number of tests divided by 2. Okay, or divided by the number of tests.
Yeah, like a lot.
Okay, it's work.